Hey, Kayawu.
Hello.
Is something wrong?
I've been thinking. If we understood what we found in Old Halu correctly, the Hibernians knew that Shayogded was more than just a destroyer. And yet they kept it a secret.
The only source we have is the journal of that prince. We don't know if what he wrote was true, or if it was just the wishful thinking of a desperate lover.
But even if he were desperate, that idea had to have come from somewhere. What I mean to say is, they had their secrets, but look where we are now. Jakku has come all the same. I just keep wondering, would it have made a difference? If everyone knew about Shayogded, about its hold on reality, could we have prevented Jakku, or would we find ourselves exactly where we are now?
Why does this bother you so much?
It's just something to occupy my mind while on the road. I see that look, General. I'll be fine. I just need some time to clear my head.
Do you want to get some fresh air? It might help.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's go. And the others threw rocks at him until he was gone. My father returned to his tent without a word.
That's awful.
He was just a boy, hungry, lost. But no one else saw that. They only saw a thief, a dangerous outsider.
But you didn't. You see the potential for good in others. I like that about you.
You may be the only one who does. I'm glad, though. You know, I'm glad it was you who showed up.
Why's that?
I'd always wondered what it was like beyond our borders, but I never thought I'd actually have the courage to go out there. You made that decision easy.
How so?
You were confident and didn't let anything deter you. I believed you when you said you wanted to stop Jakku.
I mean what I say.
Exactly.
I'm glad you joined us, Kayawu. We have just as much to learn from you as you from us.
Really? What could you possibly learn from me?
Well, as you said, you've been isolated from the rest of the world. You're bound to know something we don't.
I don't think so.
Everyone's like that. Until you come to a place like Greyfell. You learn so much about the world by getting to know the people in it. What I mean to say is, you made the right choice.
How do you do it? How do you know you've made the right choice?
I don't think I ever know. I just hope for the best.
That's not very helpful. But it is comforting to know I'm not the only one. I mean, it makes sense, but I guess I thought there was some secret trick to it.
It's not that complicated, really. Everyone is trying to figure it out as they go along.
I guess so. Thanks for this, General. It's helped a lot.
I think we've known each other long enough that you can call me Erev.
Yeah, I guess we have. Thanks, Erev.
Anytime. Keep it up. What do we have here? All right, then.
Armors and shields, everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords.
You'll find just what you need. Well bargained.
Stay close. Yes. Huh. Interesting.
General, come for a chat?
I'll be going.
So long.
Over here. Keep it up.
Oh, General. Do you have a moment? I could use your help. Hey, need something?
You said you needed help with something?
Yes, I do. The vinculum we recovered in Calibrock. How much do you really know about it?
To be honest, not much. Why do you ask?
Well, you saw what it could do. Revealing other realities, bringing objects from one reality into another. But I think it can do more. Rather, I think I can focus its energy to be more specific in what it reveals. With your help, I'd like to test it out.
Why do you need my help for this?
Because I don't know what will happen when we try to look at other realities. I figure it's better to be cautious, rather than try this on my own.
What do you mean by more specific? What are you hoping to see?
Well, if I'm to test this, I figure it's best to focus it on myself. Mostly I just want to see if it will work. But I will admit, I am curious. Don't you want to know what another you might be up to?
It would be interesting to see how things are different.
Exactly. For the first time, we might actually have the means to know.
How do we test your theory?
Well, I've identified several places we might be able to activate the device. If it works, we should be able to see something.
Okay. We'll check it out the next time we're out there.
Thanks, General.
I'll see you, and,
You too.
what do we have here?
General. Sure.
Out of the way. This way.
Why is everything...
See ya.
They are fools to chat.
Serving as the nexus of all the major roads through Nortender, the crossroads were imagined as more than just a joining point. Every trader, noble, ambassador, and traveler must pass through this area, and none can ignore the silent behemoth that looms in the distance. Greyfell. The majesty of the city overwhelms and inspires, providing a humbling ritual for all who traverse the region.
Need something?
Yes. Stay close.
This is one of the spots I marked to test my theory. We should be able to use the vinculum here. Look out!
What is that thing?
Kill it!
Chedrick, come inside and wash up for supper.
But Mama, we're collecting mushrooms.
Did you always want to be a
Ask your father to show you which ones to collect when he returns. He'll be back any moment. Come on, inside.
Exotic places and shaking hands with powerful people had always enthralled me.
Bet you didn't?
I would have if it had...
That was unexpected.
I'll say. Seemed like someone was domesticated.
You looked content.
I looked tired.
Yes?
Come on, let's find another spot to test the device.
Just give the word.
Really? I'm here.
This is one of the spots I marked to test my theory. We should be able to use the vinculum here. Look out!
What is that thing?
Kill it!
Is that the...
Gather the other novitiates. I want them to bear witness.
Priestess Alaciel, please reconsider. She's young, but from a good family.
And she was foolish. She proved herself unworthy of priesthood. Now get the others.
As you say.
It's Rains. I never left Finn and Mir.
Such a cruel mistress.
So I'm guessing you became a priestess?
Looked like it. It didn't even seem like me.
Well, if you never left Finn and Mir, you would be a totally different person.
I guess you're right. Come on, let's find another spot to test the device.
What do you want?
This is one of the spots I marked to test my theory. We should be able to use the vinculum here. Look out!
What is that thing?
Kill it!
No, please. You don't understand. I was part of the circle.
Yeah, right. And I'm the Emperor's secret lover. Now get out of here.
Please. Can't you spare something? Anything?
I said get lost.
Wow. The other me was having a rough time.
That's putting it mildly. Looks like you left the circle.
I recognize those streets. It was in the marketplace in Imperia. But why did you leave?
I have no idea. Guess it didn't turn out well, though.
Why not?
Come on, let's find another spot to test the device.
What do you fancy?
Lead on then.
This is one of the spots I marked to test my theory. We should be able to use the vinculum here. Look out!
What is that thing?
Kill it! Big Ben, now!
This, you know that?
Do it already.
Iria Alathiel, you were found guilty of the crimes of magic and are sentenced to death by the pike. Do you have any final words?
Choke on your laws.
May the light have mercy on your soul.
Ouch.
That didn't end so well.
I guess not all other realities are good ones.
Yeah. I must not have been let out of prison with Tahar.
Or maybe Tahar didn't even exist in that reality.
Who knows? Either way, dead end there. Okay, maybe if we look around more.
Iria, come on. What is this really about?
What do you mean? It's like I said before, for magical research.
We both know that's not the whole truth.
This is an area of magic hardly ever explored. I'm only trying to...
Iria.
Fine. Yes. I was trying to see what my life was like in another reality.
Why? Aren't you content with your life now?
I am. I don't know. I guess I was hoping a path would reveal itself. Don't you ever think about how your choices define your life? Maybe that's all life really is. Choices and consequences, one after another. Till it's all over.
Sure, I think about it. But I don't dwell on it the way you seem to.
Well, lucky you. I guess I was hoping that one of these realities was the best. Maybe I could find the right path.
And? Now that you've seen a few versions, what do you think?
They were all the same at their core. I saw the same thing. Regrets. Longing for whatever comes next. None of it was better. It was just... different.
What would you do if you had found the right path?
I don't really know. I guess... try to emulate it?
You would really change your life over a vision? What if it was completely different from who you are now?
But if it truly was right, then how could I not change myself? Anyway, this is an academic question.
You can't keep looking in other realities for the answers.
Yeah, I see that now. I'm not sure there even are any answers. Thanks for humoring me on this venture.
Will you be okay?
Yeah. I'm not devastated if that's what you're afraid of. Let's keep going.
Make it good.
On your journey to the cave where you're to meet the man from Imperia, your nightmares become worse than ever before. The evening before your arrival, you don't bother trying to sleep at all, but go for a walk around a nearby lake instead. The sun's half over the horizon as you come back, flooding the camp with a reddish light the color of blisters. Your soldiers, you think as the sentry greets you with a tired nod. They trust you.
Well then, according to the ambassador, the Empyrean should be waiting for us further down the cave.
I still have a bad feeling about this.
It'll be all right. Also, Ralkin and a couple of our men are there, in case things go south. In fact, he should be up ahead. Let's go meet him.
Look at that, boys.
I'm listening.
Huh. Interesting.
Not gonna happen, mate. I don't have focus. All right, I'm intrigued.
Let me see. Sounds like
Sure.
a plan.
Keep it up. What's this?
General, good to see you.
Ralkin, what's the situation?
Well, the Empyrean's there, along with 24 of his mercenaries. Here's what I suggest. You go on ahead and talk to the guy, and we keep an eye on you from a distance. We'll intervene at the first sign of things going south.
Good. Yes, that sounds like a plan. Stay alert then.
Will do. Still no idea who that man is?
No, none.
Huh. Well then, Nihov, guide your sword, General. We'll keep an eye on you.
Oh,
Out of the
missed
way.
me.
Lead on then.
Do we always have to run?
You got it.
General Arab, how long has it been?
Guardians. Kieran?
Do you know him?
He served in my unit back in Imperia. You're controlling the mercenaries?
I wouldn't be here otherwise, would I?
But that doesn't make any sense. You're...
Dead? No, General, I'm very much alive. Looks like you've done well for yourself since you came here, General of the Wolf Guard. What an honor.
What do you want from us?
From you? Nothing. I'm here for her.
Keep your hands where we can see them, lad.
Oh my, so loyal. Are these your new subordinates? I bet they trust you.
Kieran...
You see, when I heard that Her Majesty called you back to Northander, I first thought it was because they had found out what you had done, and were finally gonna hang you for it. But no, of course not. Instead, she promotes you to General of the Wolf Guard. Might as well have spit on my mother's grave. She trusted you with her life. You know, we all did.
Kieran, I don't know how to say this, but I don't remember anything that happened that day. It's just... gone.
How convenient. But even if that weren't a lie, what difference does it make? My home is gone. My comrades are dead. My mother is dead. And none of it would have happened if you hadn't gambled with our lives like we were just pieces on some fucking chessboard.
Look, I told you, I don't remember...
And I don't buy it. You're a goddamn liar, as you've proven 1,000,000 times over. Guardians, did you really think you could get off so easily? Just walking away and telling everyone you don't remember? No, Arab. You'll pay for what you did. And that's why I'm here. You have two choices. Option 1, you come with me and no one else dies. Option 2, my men will set fire to this whole goddamn country.
Do you really think that will work? The Wolfguard is waiting just outside that cave, ready to attack your mercenaries should anything happen to me.
What? Do you really think I stationed them all out there for you to trap like mice? I have 3 divisions, and they're all over Northander. Trust me, Arab. If I give the word, or don't leave this cave alive, they will do a lot of damage before you can contain them. So many villages, so many farms, so many innocents. Do you really want their blood on your hands, Arab, simply because you're too much of a coward to answer for what you've done?
Do you think the people who died that day would want you torturing and killing me? Your comrades, your village, your mother?
They're dead, goddammit! Everyone's fucking dead! It doesn't matter what they want because they're gone. Don't you get it? This is about you finally answering for your sins. Nothing else matters.
Kieran, I'm so sorry. Whatever happened, I only meant for the best. Let's talk about this, and we'll find...
We're done talking. If you're sorry, then answer for what you've done. Accept your punishment.
Help me understand something. Where on Io did you get the money for these mercenaries?
I found a treasure.
Are you serious?
No, Arab, I'm not. And I'll be damned if I tell you any more than you need to know. Suffice it to say that there are people out there who want to see you dead as much as I do.
Fine. If this is what it takes to stop you, I'm coming with you.
What?
It's my life or the lives of those innocents his mercenaries are going to kill, isn't it? I won't be responsible for their deaths. Not again.
Well, what a surprise.
Forget it. Not while I'm breathing.
This isn't your call to make, Iria.
It is now. Uh-huh.
No! Why did you do that?
Wait, let me think. Because we bloody need you? Damn it, Arif, this isn't about you or your personal catharsis. How can you not see that?
Okay. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I just wasn't thinking straight.
Just never do something like that again.
The question is, what are we going to do about his mercenaries? If Kieran doesn't come back alive, they'll start raiding.
They won't be a problem.
Catrus?
That's my name.
She agreed to our terms, boss.
Marvelous. So, General, as it turns out, I know the leader of the mercenary group your friend hired. She and I are old... acquaintances. I reached out to her right after Her Majesty told us about the threat and convinced her that the whole thing's a bloody stupid idea and offered to pay her double what your friend offered her. Guess what? She agreed. Those mercenaries your lovely friend here hired won't lift a finger.
So, Nortander's safe? They won't attack any villages?
That's right. Everything's hunky-dory. Sir Catrus Vertath, at your service.
Twice what he offered? How do you intend to pay for that?
I don't, but I have a strong hunch the Queen will.
Why didn't you tell me you got in touch with the mercenaries?
Well, because you had a lot on your mind already, and I couldn't risk you and the Queen calling me off. You know, honor and all that. Sorry.
Good work, Catrus. Thank you.
My pleasure. Let's get back to Greykeep, shall we? The Queen will want to report.
Sure, boss. I'll join Ralkin and the others outside.
So, let's address the elephant in the room before we leave, shall we?
What do you mean?
Oh, come on, you know what I mean. That man said some pretty nasty things about you.
Look, I told you, I don't remember. Whatever happened that night, I don't know if I'm to blame for it or...
I don't think that's what he's trying to say. He means that we still have your back. Right, Catras?
Right. And yeah, I know it sounds a tad cheesy, but you look like a sad puppy, so I thought we might as well say it.
And just how can you say that? Damn it, I don't know what happened. So what if Kieran was right? All I remember is that those cursed Dawn Reapers made it into the village and killed everyone, and that it had been my job to protect them. I just don't...
General, it doesn't change anything.
How? What if those people did die because of me? Just like Kieran said.
Then you'll have to answer for it. Don't misunderstand. This isn't about absolving you of the crimes you maybe did or did not commit in the past. This is the present, and you've given us no reason to distrust your leadership. So yes, it doesn't change anything. We stand behind you, even if what that man said was true.
A touch dramatic, but it hits the mark.
Okay. I'll not let you down.
Doing fine so far. Fair enough. Good chat. Now, shall we go back to Greykeep?
Yes.
Right.
Try to keep up.
I've been wondering, Catras, did you always want to be a mercenary leader?
Actually, I didn't. As a boy, I always wanted to be a servant of the speech, a diplomat. The idea of traveling to exotic places and shaking hands with powerful people had always enthralled me.
But you didn't?
I would have if it hadn't been for my low birth. I guess that's part of why I broke ties with the realm. They always blather about how in the communes everybody's equal, but that's a pile of horseshit. Some are more equal than others.
Kieran is dead. And with him, the last connection to the incident in Imperia. Still, you leave Windwall with a leaden feeling in your chest. 2 days later, you're back in Greykeep, reading over Sergeant Rolkin's most recent reports. 2 more Nortandian villages siphoned. A knock on the door pulls you from your thoughts. Rera. Have a second, General? You follow her.
This way.
Ugh. Why is everything still spinning?
See you.
See ya.
Yes. Over here. All right. Time to report to Her Majesty. Keep it up.
So this man hired an army of mercenaries and sailed all the way over from Imperia just to take his revenge on you. Huh, that is absurd.
He lost someone and wanted what he thought was justice. Never underestimate the power of grief, Ambassador.
What matters more is that he did not seem to be aware of the influence he was under. Are you sure he was the soul you saw in the tapestry? He was one of the corrupted?
100%.
Well, I suppose we simply have to take your word for it, Skadar. The Empyrean man has been neutralized, and hence one more corrupted has been taken out of the equation. You did good work, General. Unfortunately, we still do not know the whereabouts of this Temple of Light. So you will have to deal with Arrakis first. Hailstone, brief the General on the mission as soon as possible. This conclave is concluded. Good luck, General.
Stay close.
Let's make it painless.
No one lives forever.
Windholm has changed. The roads, once bustling with travelers and traders from all nations, are empty. The trading posts deserted. 10 miles from Windwall, you pass a gallows where a dwarven woman and an elven man have been strung up, their mouths stuffed with pebbles, gravel eaters. While the Blackstone rebels meet the sight with roars, Rera rides in silence. Hours later, you reach Windholm Mountain, towering into a crystal clear blue sky. Strangely enough, no guards have stopped your army's approach. They are preparing.
Just like we thought. They're expecting us. I hope you're ready for a bloody battle, General, because that's what we're getting. Ultimately, it's simple. We need to crush through their defense. However, since it's the dwarven army we're up against, it'll be one hell of a defense. That the only way into the city, and thus their base, is a single, comparably narrow bridge won't make it any easier. The only real piece of advice I can offer is to use our flying units. They aren't limited by the passages and chasms. And the tunnels, of course. The Bastion has a couple of them all over the cave. If we claim a sector and don't destroy the tunnel, the Windholmers will use it to send troops through and take it back. And that's it. I wish I could be of more help, but I guess there's nothing I can... except that we're in for a rough fight.
Well then, keep in mind that this isn't just about Windholm. Ericus is more than just a hate-monger. He's one of the corrupted. In other words, if we lose, Sheogdid wins.
Of course. All right, give me a second.
The outpost is complete. We've expanded our borders.
I'll take a look. Ugh, crump.
Yes.
I'll catch up.
What do you want?
This is it.
Let's do this. Yes?
To the
All right, here goes nothing.
All right, that'll have to do. I doubt they dug any more tunnels.
Aye. Let's focus on the troops for now.
Let's be quick.
Building completed.
You were saying? Attack!
No one lives forever.
What do you need?
Get ready! Fair enough. Let's do this.
They are fools to challenge us.
That way?
Take them out!
on then.
I'll catch up. We can take them. Move in.
Building completed.
Consider it done.
It must be done.
So it must be.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do this.
And already they're scurrying off like bloody rats. Cowards.
Hold on. I don't think they're fleeing. They're reorganizing.
Dust and stones. It's a spirit of the mountain. Kill it!
What do you need?
Here we go.
Is complete. We've expanded our borders.
Ellen's reigns. I think that was all of them. We did it.
Good work. Rara, any word from Malik? Did they go through with the plan? What was that?
The answer to your question. Malik just blew up the statue.
So the mad plan worked after all. I didn't think it would.
We'll see about that. Let's go in. And keep your weapons ready.
What is it?
I'll take a look.
Building completed.
Dust and stones. What happened here?
That's a lot of corpses.
But Malik wasn't... No matter. We need to find Arrakis. Go. Dust and stones.
Rebellions are bloody.
Of course.
We've got dwarves!
Here goes nothing. At once.
Really?
Beardless scum! You're going to pay!
know the way, right?
This is it.
Nowhere to run now.
Stay close.
Sure.
That's a civilian.
Let's push on.
I'll catch up.
Over there! See the beards?
Take them out! I'm out of cover!
No one lives forever.
Huh. That statue looks like a meteor struck it. How did Malik do it?
Torval, a former Earthshaper of the Bastion.
Any idea what's going to happen with all that moon silver?
We were going to use it to repair the damage done by Arrakis, though Malik's men were supposed to protect it from looters. Stones. Malik, where are you?
This better be good.
No sign of Malik.
He's probably in the castle. Stones, what went wrong here? This is a massacre.
Things must have gotten out of hand.
But why? No matter. Let's move. To the castle.
Get ready.
I'm listening.
Gravelly scum. Time's up!
Move in. Yes.
Sure.
I am on it.
All right, here we are. The Granite Castle. Ready, General? I'm not sure I want to know what's happening in there.
Worried about your brother?
I don't know what I'm worried about. Let's just get this over with, okay? Let's find Arrakis, incarcerate him, and end this mess once and for all.
Okay, let's go in.
As if the castle walls shut out the reality beyond them, an eerie quiet surrounds you inside. No corpses, no fires, no tang of ashes and blood. Only the polished granite tiles and the massive pillars holding up the ceiling and the mountain above it.
Stones, look out!
She's with the rebels! Crush them!
To the grave. Hi.
Challenge us.
Go for the eyes.
Tiara's breath. That thing was tough.
A guardian golem. They were made to protect, not to harm. The guards must have been desperate to awaken them.
And no sign of your brother.
Aye. Let's find Arrakis.
Over here. Keep it up.
There.
What's he doing? This way.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
What?
What?
What on Io is this? It's like he's not even aware of us.
Norse claws, of course. The rune.
Rune?
The rune Rondar Lacane used during the Purity Wars, remember? I told you about it. The Purity of Light used it to control Lady Myra Utran's mind. The way Arrakis is behaving, this catatonia. It's just like how Lady Myra was after Tahar broke the rune's influence on her. High Hierophant Arrakis is under mind control, Erev. He was.
Wait, you mean someone is controlling him? Who?
Circle Mage Iskrim, of course. It has to be Iskrim. He's the only one who knows how to handle the rune. He's the one who has it.
Guardians. You're right.
Hold on. What the stones are you talking about? Mind control, rune? If anybody is controlling Arrakis, then it's the God of Light. You heard what?
No, Rara, you don't understand. Iskrim is the dwarf Wraith saw during the ritual. He's the corrupted, not Arrakis. Look, during the Purity Wars, Rondar Lacane used a Shaper runestone to exert mind control over an influential noble in the north, Lady Myra Utran. Jarrus told me the story. Despite the dangers, Circle Mage Iskrim was fascinated by the technology, and he must have continued to research it, without the Queen's permission.
Then a Circle Mage did this. But why?
I don't know. But Arrakis must have been a puppet. And all this, the Granite Suns, the monument. Iskrim forced him to do it. We have to...
There's the bastard. Good.
Malik, where were you?
Where do you think? Outside, putting down Arrakis's dogs.
That's a bloodbath out there. Was that really necessary? You were supposed to blow up the monument and then sneak into the castle.
Aye, but things got messy. What do you expect us to do? Fight the guards with candy and pillows? But don't worry, it's almost over. All that's left to do now is put down the bad shepherd and the rest of his lambs.
You want to kill him? That wasn't part of the plan, Malik.
Plans change.
Wait, what do you mean by put down his lambs?
What do you think? Every bootlicker, every stuck-up aristocrat, every pragmatist who stood with this bastard is going to die. We're going to finish what we started outside.
Malik, that's...
That's just what needs to be done, for fuck's sake. That bullshit ideology Arrakis has put into their heads. It's like cancer. If you don't cut out every single bit of the tumor, it always comes back.
Why don't you just throw him into a dungeon?
So that he uses his friends to buy him out the first chance he gets? No, General. Bastards like Arrakis, the rich and the mighty, they always find a way to wriggle themselves out of punishment. You have to cut them down when you have the chance.
This is your rebellion, Rara. What do you want to do?
What kind of question is that? We're not executing anyone, damn it. Malik, Arrakis wasn't even in charge. He was under mind control.
Mind control? Huh? Well, that doesn't change the fact that he's got blood on his hands, too. First, we take care of him, and then we find whoever was making the monkey dance.
You're starting to sound just like him.
Oh, get off your high horse, Rara. You're not calling the shots here, not this time. Now, the only reason you came back after you ditched me here was because you wanted to feel good about yourself. And even then, you couldn't wait to jump ship again and run off with that traitor general and his army. You have no fucking idea what it's like down here.
Now stand aside and let me finish what we started.
No, Malik. No. You're not gonna kill him.
Move!
Your rage comes.
Let's find this Iskrim.
Are you all right, Rhett?
I'm good. Now, where can we find the one who did this? Do you think he's here? In Windhome?
What about your brother? Do we leave him here?
He's only unconscious and none of his wounds are lethal. We'll find a healer to take care of him. Now again, where's this circle mage? Where's Iskrim?
Thoughts, anyone?
The rune only has a very limited range. So, yes, he must be here. He was here all the time.
Hold on. Didn't your brother mention something about an odd dwarf going in and out of the tunnels, Rara?
You mean that was him?
It's a possibility.
Right. Well, then let's find the man. I'd like to have a calm and rational discussion with him.
At once.
Even well down into the lower layers of the city, the fighting continues. At least, that's what the din of cries, fires, and clashing axes suggests. Rara leads the way, walking fast, her eyes fixed forward.
Here we are. Let's hope we're right, and he hasn't made a run for it yet.
We should try that grave first, remember? The one we found last time we were here?
Good point.
Make it good.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Hear that?
Iskrim.
Iria?
We know what you did, Iskrim. You used the rune to orchestrate the rise of the Granite Suns. Arrakis was your puppet.
So the secret's out. I knew it would be eventually.
Stones, why? Why the stones would you do something like this? Do you know how many people you've killed?
Do you know whose grave this is?
How should I know?
It's Gilak Orblades, the founder of the first Blackstone rebels, whose name you borrowed. King Rorik executed him 20 years ago.
I know who Gilak Orblade was. A hero. What does he have to do with you?
He was my husband.
You're... what?
It's true, Rara. I should have told you earlier, but I don't know. It was private.
So, Gilak Orblade was your... what? Your lover?
Is the idea that absurd, Gilak? All he ever wanted to do was good. He didn't fool himself into believing he could save the entire world. Just a touch of good, here and there. That's why he founded the rebels. They weren't even violent to begin with. Just a voice against the injustices that happened under King Rorik's reign. And what did he get in return? Right. The king had him murdered. And when they presented his body to the public, everyone cheered.
I don't follow. King Rorik killed your husband. I understand that. But why on Io would you use the rune to mastermind the rise of another tyrant because of that?
Because I wanted to make them see! I wanted to make these stupid, gullible fools who enable people like Rorik and Arrakis to see how endlessly rotten they really are! And it worked, didn't it? All it took were empty words and hatred, and look at what happened. If we dwarves are really that easy to break, that easy to manipulate, then blood and ashes are all we deserve. Arrakis was a test, and they failed it.
Why have you released Arrakis now?
Why? Because there's no point anymore. The test is over, and Windholm has failed.
The rebellion succeeded, didn't it? So how did Windholm fail your test?
They failed it the moment they elevated Arrakis into power. Restore Windholm to its former glory. Gravel Eaters, Granite Suns. Empty words. Pandering, sycophancy through and through. How could anyone believe this nonsense? And yet they did. They cheered, they hated, and they killed for it. As for the rebels, I had high hopes for them. But the more powerful they became, the clearer it became to me that they were ultimately no better than Arrakis. Look at the bloodbath up there. They did that. Give a man an axe, and you see his true face.
Malik made them do it. This wasn't what I stood for. This wasn't what any of us stood for.
And yet they obeyed when your brother commanded them to commence the slaughtering. Admit it, Hailstone. It's just in our blood. We dwarves deserve no better.
In other words, Arrakis was your puppet from the very start.
For 5 moons, not from the start. You see, Arrakis was always a hate-monger at heart. That's why I chose him. Preached racial purity. He had slept with an elf. What he lacked was simply the rhetorics and the charisma to take over. So I used the rune on him and helped out with that.
So you did all this to prove a point?
Call it what you will. The truth is, had these people not been so foolish, Windwall would still be at peace now, and Gilak would still be alive.
You bloody arrogant piece of shit! You played God. That's what this was about. Don't you dare pretend it was any different.
I threw a carcass into the arena, Hailstone. The lions tore it apart.
Well, Windholm is in flames, and hundreds of dwarves are dead. Are you happy?
Quite the opposite. But it wasn't me. I never had Arrakis order the death of anyone. What happened out there? Those fools did it to themselves. And that includes your brother, Rara Hailstone. He was only waiting for a chance to get his hands bloody.
You know nothing about my brother.
Oh, but I do. I know that you and he resurrected the Blackstone rebels. And at first, I actually even supported you. Does the name Turfa Smeltgrip ring a bell? Your most generous supporter. I planted that idea inside her head.
Wait. You built up the Blackstone rebels?
I supported them. But the more I watched, the more I realized that they were as bad as Arrakis' lackeys. Just in a different uniform. What your brother did out there, Rara Hailstone, only proves my point.
Iskrim, you were also being manipulated. You're one of the corrupted, one of the God of Light's tools.
The God of Light? What are you talking about?
The God of Light is trying to re-enter the world. It's part of an ancient prophecy, Jakku. There are 4 corrupted, whose task it is to sow chaos and help with its plan, and you are one of them. You might not have been aware of it, but the God of Light influenced your actions.
What? But... no. This is nonsense. I did this because the dwarves deserved it. We all...
Corrupted or not, I don't give a shit. You have blood on your hands, Circle Mage Iskrim, and you're gonna answer for it. General, I hope you have a spare cell in the Greykeep dungeons. A lightless one with rats.
He'll be tried and punished, yes. Iskrim, promise me that you're not going to put up a fight. There's been enough bloodshed today.
Do what you want. I did what I had to.
Your Majesty, I'm sorry for the delay. There was something I needed to take care of.
You are excused. We were just discussing the events in Windholm. Iria, you say you noticed nothing strange about Iskrim all this time? I am not blaming you. I simply imagine he must have worked on this plan for quite some time before realizing it.
Well, you know how Iskrim is. When he wasn't abroad on his expeditions, he was in his laboratory researching the rune and how the Shapers used it. He would have had plenty of time to work on this plan of his.
Though that raises the question as to when corruption starts. Kieran, the Empyrean man, also wasn't aware that he was serving Jakku. So was it Sheobded who put these ideas into their heads? Or were they already there, and Sheobded merely twisted them for his own purposes?
Either explanation is unsettling.
Well, unsettling or not, what matters is that we took one more of Sheobded's corrupted out of the equation. Also, High Hierophant Arrakis won't be a problem any longer. You did good work, Rara Hailstone. And so did you, General.
Will putting Iskrim in chains really neutralize his influence as a corrupted?
It has to. If he's locked away, how can he advance Jakku? We only need to make certain the locks are safe enough.
Indeed. And even if it were not so, we cannot and will not execute a Circle Mage based on mere conjecture. I am certain you understand.
Have you already spoken to Iskrim, Your Majesty?
Not yet. But I plan on doing so very soon.
Provided that he wants to. Ever since we dragged him out of those catacombs, he hasn't said a single word.
I will get him to talk.
What will become of Arrakis?
We will leave that up to the prince to decide. Let us just hope that the rest of Hailstone's rebels are wiser than her brother.
They are. And just so you know, the Blackstone rebels will stick with you until you've done what you must.
Thank you, Hailstone. I appreciate your loyalty.
That only leaves us with the masked woman, doesn't it? We need to find the Temple of Light before they do.
Speaking of which, where's Sir Catras? Wasn't he here when the conclave started?
He was.
I'm right here, Your Majesty. May I present Gilbar Mercal, the archaeologist?
You found him?
In a brothel in Everlight, yes. A lovely chap, he really is.
It wasn't a brothel. It was a bathing house. Now, while I'm humbled to be here, will somebody please tell me what this is about? Why am I here?
You're here because Nortander needs your services. Tell us, Gilbert Mercal. What do you know about the Temple of Light?
The Temple of... Wait. Does that mean you believe me? You believe it exists?
We certainly do. And we have taken an interest in finding it.
Your Majesty, I don't know what to say. This is an honor. I've spent my entire life...
We know you have. And if your research proves to be helpful, I will see you get the recognition you deserve. Now tell us what you know. What is the Temple of Light? And where is it?
Well, where shall I start? First of all, you need to know that Io is a land full of ancient secrets and...
The short version, please.
Fine. You all know about the God of Light. At least since the Purity Wars. It's an interdimensional entity with hostile intentions. What you probably don't know is that Rondar Lakain wasn't the first person to try to bring it into our world. An ancient people did, too. They were the ones who constructed the original gate. A portal devised to let the God of Light into our world. And they kept it in their temple.
The Temple of Light.
Yes. I doubt that was the name these people used, but according to my research, it's somewhere between the Loranian swamplands and Windholm, above the border of the Howling Steppes.
The Aliani prophecy, Jakku, also mentions this gate. What makes it any different from the portal that Lakain tried to open in the Hall of Justice?
Well, I don't know about any Jakku, but Rondar Lakain created a tear, a fracture in the veil that seals itself with time. The gate, on the other hand, cannot be closed once it has been opened. If it helps, picture the tear as a needle-sized hole in a piece of fabric. The gate is the equivalent of ripping the fabric apart.
Before the Purity Wars, no one even knew the God of Light existed. How is that possible?
An excellent question. At first, I thought the records were simply lost to time. But the patterns were too strong to be ordinary coincidence. I think, at some point or another, every civilization purged the God of Light from their records. Perhaps they all concluded the knowledge was too dangerous.
Like the Hibernians in Old Hallu. They also knew about the God of Light, but wrote remarkably little about it.
They were one, yes.
An ancient people? Are you talking about the Shapers?
I know who the Xarlonthep are. And no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a different culture. Well developed at their zenith, but small in number.
When was that?
Well, that's hard to say, really, as they left hardly any traces. The few I found suggest that they lived around the same time the Xarlonthep did, but died before these became a world empire.
I don't get it. I'm no archaeologist, but if this culture was as well developed as you said, how come they left no traces?
That's the conundrum I've been dealing with for a long time. My esteemed colleagues say it is because these people didn't exist. You don't even know what they called themselves, they say. I know they did, though. And the God of Light's existence stands testimony to that. There's one theory I have regarding their disappearance, but I have little evidence to support it.
Which is?
That someone tried to erase them from history. Someone covered their tracks.
So that's why the masked woman is looking for the temple. It's where the corrupted end Jakku after all. By opening the gate.
With the energy of the Horde of Souls. Remember the Purity Wars? Lakain needed the magic of Tahar's mother to open the portal for the God of Light. And as she, the last Shaper, died, they needed another energy source. That's what they siphoned those souls for, to open the gate in the Temple of Light.
I don't follow. Horde of souls? Masked woman? You think somebody's actually trying to open the gate?
Sadly, we don't think, we know. Tell me, did someone break into your house last week? Ferreted through your desk, perchance?
You mean... Oh, Guardians, this is terrible. I don't know what to say.
Do you think they've located it already? Are you missing, I don't know, a map or something?
Now that you mention it, yes. I've been wondering where that notebook went.
Then we have no time to lose. We will make for Windholm and...
Wait!
Kayawu?
Sir Merkel, you are wrong. The temple isn't near the steps. It's in the steps. It's next to our village.
I'm sorry, boy. Who are you?
Those ancient people you were talking about, they are our ancestors. We were once 4 tribes, and the chieftains introduced Sheogded as a god to worship. They wanted to open the gate, but a group of us rebelled and stopped them. They sealed off the temple, changed their ways, and became what we are today. Jakku isn't just a prophecy, it's a reminder of what once was.
Why on Io didn't you tell us? This could have changed everything.
Because it's the law. Never, under any circumstances, must the chieftain or his kin reveal the whereabouts of the temple. Never. You just don't understand, General. Every custom we have, every tradition we honor, every law that I am bound to, I broke them all. I have broken with everything I once deemed holy to help you. My father forgave it all. But had I told you about the temple, well, I would have been an Aliani no longer. I am an Aliani no longer.
You hoped we would find the temple on our own?
Yes. That way, I would not have become a traitor.
Wait, the Aliani used to worship Sheogded? Why?
For a reason similar to that of the Hibernian prince. They were seeking its favor. I don't have to tell you how powerful Sheogded is. It can create new realities with a mere thought.
And that was what they wanted? A new reality?
One where the Aliani didn't just rule the steppes, but all of Northander. Thankfully, some of our people saw the implications of this and stopped the chieftains before it was too late. Do you understand now? This is why we have our ways. We vowed to never again let Sheogded enslave us with promises of power or to succumb to those sins. If Jakku were to happen again, we, by all that's sacred, would be observers, not perpetrators.
If you haven't told us after all this time, why now?
Because if the Crescent concludes that the temple is in the steppes, their next move will be to question my people. We must get there before they do. We must.
Shit.
What's done is done. Just tell us where the temple is.
It's northwest of the village. Not far, but nowhere near the border with Lara, as Sir Merkel said. I can take you there.
Is that wise? The Dark Crescent might be waiting for us.
Very unlikely. If they only just stole Merkal's research, it will take them time to figure it out. We can move in and fortify our position at the village and temple. Then, when they appear, we strike.
And catch them red-handed, alongside the last corrupted. Smart.
General, you will go on ahead with the Wolf Guard. Secure the Aliani village first, then head to the temple. I will mobilize as many levies as I can, and then follow.
Kayawu, do you think your people would be willing to help us?
I don't know. I am a traitor now. And even if they would, They are not warriors.
I do not think we should involve the Aliani in this fight. It is enough if we protect them from the Crescent.
Thank you, Your Majesty. That means a lot to me. To us.
Why not destroy the temple? If there's no gate, then there's no way for such evil god to enter, right?
For once, I agree with Catris. Without the gate, it won't matter how powerful the Horde of Souls is.
That would not work. The temple is only a physical structure, whereas the gate is part of the Veil. It won't matter if there's a building or just a pile of rubble.
Okay, let's get to it.
You should. I want you to set out by the next morrow. In the meantime, prepare yourself and the Wolf Guard as well as you can. Everything depends on your success.
Yes?